at this hour. Kunal, what are you seeing on charts? Of course, global markets not supportive, but do you believe that Indian markets can be divergent of what's happened globally, and can we notch those all-time highs?
Yeah, I think the ground is set as such for our markets to continue to move up higher, and even after yesterday's 1,100 point volatility for Dow Jones, I think from the peak to the bottom as such, after a 2.5% intraday volatility, if you look at a 10 point or a 15 point drop on the Nifty, I think that tells you the maturity our markets have shown, or at least the eagerness our markets are showing towards a breakout and resilience, and not succumbing to the global volatility. That, I believe, is a big hallmark of the market so far. There have been misses and positives for the markets in this leg of rally. The positives are that you've seen many large cap names participating one by one, set of private sector banking names making some bit of comeback yesterday, Reliance showing signs of strength. The only difference is that this time around the mid cap end of the market is not as vibrant as we would have expected at a closer to a new highs for the index. That's the only negative which our markets are missing out. But maybe I think that could be another considered as a positive, that it's not euphoria which is set into the markets. Because had it been that the portfolios have been doing very well, there would have been some bit of exuberance or euphoria which would have kicked in and which could probably have capped the rally further for the indices. I also sense that maybe the global markets, especially the Dow, etc., are actually retesting the bottoms for themselves on the short-term charts, and there could be a short-term bottom in place over here. That, I believe, could probably fuel the rallies going forward for our markets also. So hopefully next week onwards, I think we should see more of, say, a mild to positive gap-up openings on the indices that could aid the rally further for the index.
So all-time high today. That possibility is not off the table.
That possibility is not off the table. Yeah.
Kunal, if you look at the F&O numbers there, there is a build-up which is happening in the December series, but a corresponding rollover is not happening. It's build-up which is happening in December, and the unwinding which we normally see during a rollover process in the November hasn't begun yet. So today and Monday are the only days when you can have that rollover, which is. So are you going to see some volatility because of that as well?
Yeah, it could happen, Siddhi. So, you go back, I think, 2 expiries back, end of September, where the numbers from the, rollovers were also on the lower side. But that time what happened was the FI numbers, which were on the extreme short, 94-93% approximately, that dropped down to almost 77 or 78% in a matter of 3-4 days of the fresh expiry. So that could be one positive, that maybe the shorts are not getting rolled over to the next series. Now you look at it this way, that in the last 4-5 days, you've seen the Bank Nifty showing signs of mild reduction, net reduction in terms of open interest. And the Bank Nifty has been one of the best performing index. When the reduction of open interest happens and the prices move up higher, it's a simple assumption that there is more of short covering which is happening on that particular index or asset class. So that's another positive to look at from the index perspective. So I think, and also I think look at it this way, that Tuesday is the expiry. There are, including today's session, there are 3 sessions for traders to try and roll over the positions. And maximum chunk generally happens at the last days because the theta decay and on the options, etc., that generally plays out. From the options perspective. From the futures, of course, you want the rollovers to be, because it's a long expiry for December. 25th November is the expiry, and it's almost one month and 5-6 days.
Yeah.
30th December is the expiry.
One of the largest expiry, actually.
One of the largest expiry. So you would want to close your positions as closer to the November series end as compared to maybe 4 or 5 days earlier.
So Kunal, what stock bias could you have? And would it be a different set of names to open with, and perhaps midday you change your bias?
Yeah, so I think now is a good time to go for a very good contra buys, contra set. So, for example, DMart is something which I would, start to bet at current levels. It's almost 6 or 7 consecutive weeks of price correction for DMart. The stock has fallen down from 45, 4600. In fact, much higher than that, towards 4,000 mark where the stock is trading right now. So I believe that the risk reward is attractive, and the markets would be looking out for a point where many of these underperforming names could make a very strong and a sudden comeback. So would bet on many of these large cap names. DMart is one of them, 4,300 as a target, stop us at 3,950. And ABB is the other stock, again an underperformer with respect to the entire cap good space as such. I think you look at Cummins, you look at L&T, etc. These stocks have done, Thermax, etc. These stocks have done reasonably well. But I think ABB has been trading at major lows. The stock is closer to those 5,000 levels in terms of support. Risk reward extremely attractive. Would look out for 5,400 as a target. Stop us at 4,980.